Hello and welcome back to the Squared Circle with me, David Lorca.
And me, Joe Orgula.
That's right. It is the afternoon after the night before, where it was announced that Oleksandr Usyk will be facing off with Daniel Dynamite Dubois at Wembley Stadium on the 19th of July. Now, I'm saying we put up a video yesterday of initial reactions surrounding that. I was out here with my unironed t-shirt because I was so excited, so gassed up to get this news straight to you. But we've had some time to sleep on it, and not only have we had some time to sleep on it, but we've also had these two facing off at Wembley Stadium. Yesterday, we didn't even know that Oleksandr Usyk was in town, that he was in London, and that he was ready to face off with Daniel Dubois. And we've seen these two do a little bit of a press run. Joe, loads of content coming out today surrounding these two meetings. Firstly, what's your reactions, after having 12 hours, you see what I'm saying, to marinate and stew on the fact that we're getting this fight?
Nothing's changed. Still excitement. It's like 100% of excitement from now all the way to the fight night, bro. I promise you, nothing's going to simmer down with me. Oleksandr Usyk is my favorite fighter of all time. You know how much I admire him, not only as a boxer, but as a human being. And the fact that he's come to London once again to conquer, to come to Wembley. How can you not be excited, especially seeing the pound for pound number one champion in the world? So look, I'm happy, you're happy, we're all happy that this is happening. Big time boxing is at London in the UK. This is where big time boxing is. The whole world needs to know. If you don't know, get to know. We got the receipts and we've got future endeavors in Britain. So yeah, we're good, man. I'm happy it's happening in the UK. I do love Saudi. I do love going to Saudi, to be fair. We enjoyed last time we went to Saudi. We enjoyed it immensely, right? And ironically, it was Oleksandr Usyk there. So look, but I'm happy that it's at home. And today has just given me more excitement from what we've seen, the reactions between Usyk and Dubois. Now, if you guys don't know, today at Wembley Stadium, Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois did a face-off. Daniel Dubois put his hands on Oleksandr Usyk and pushed him and called him, I suppose not a swear word, but a pussy, basically, right? And then after Usyk, what did Usyk do? Usyk was like a little feint there, made Daniel jump a little bit. Not really, though. And then he started laughing in Daniel Dubois' face. So it's hilarious. Like Usyk, I think Daniel Dubois, every fight out in the world that looks to want to fight Oleksandr Usyk or has fought Oleksandr Usyk or will be fighting Oleksandr Usyk like Daniel Dubois is, if you don't know by now, get to know. Oleksandr Usyk is press resistant. Do you know what I mean? You know Wan-Bissaka at right back at Man United back in the day. You know how he was press resistant. No one can get on Wan-Bissaka. Pull skulls. That's Oleksandr Usyk with mind games in boxing, man. He's press resistance. You can't get to him. You can't get to him. You cannot get to him. Daniel Dubois, you're just making it awkward, bro. You're just making it awkward, bro.
I'm so looking forward to this build-up, bro. Because you have two characters here who are almost like immediate polar opposites. You know what I mean? You got Daniel Dubois, who you don't know, you're not 100% sure when it comes to Daniel Dubois what he's going to do. I'm not sure he knows what he's going to do or what he's going to say. I'm not sure he thought to himself, I'm going to push him. But you know what I mean? There's a degree of unpredictability when it comes to Daniel Dubois, which is, I guess for me, something that Usyk hasn't faced before. Obviously, when he faced Tyson Fury, there was a great deal of acknowledgement in his mind that Tyson Fury plays mind games, that he's a bit of a joker, that he wants to dominate the space and so on and so forth. But with Daniel Dubois, there's just something different about him as a character. Do you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't guarantee that he was going to push him. And you also couldn't guarantee that he weren't going to push him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have no idea what he's going to say. And so it's one of them ones where the build-up is going to be incredibly interesting, I think, from that perspective. I don't think it's going to be electrifying, but I think it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Daniel Dubois got a big, massive bee in his bonnet about the way in which the first fight ended. But he is a new fighter. Them two sat down together at Talk Sport today. They've got the press conference tomorrow, which obviously the wider world doesn't know yet. But yeah, there's a press conference going down tomorrow for the media. And so we will be covering that as soon as the press conference ends. We'll be having another video surrounding that. I think this is going to dominate the front pages and the back pages all week. And what we got 10, 11 weeks until this fight goes down. But listen, as they sat down and spoke together on Talksport, you know, Alexander Usyk, had some receipts. I was asking Alexander Usyk about what does he feel about the so-called low blow and that Daniel doesn't cast it a low blow. And that, he brought out receipts. He was like, listen, at the end of the day, two things. First things first. Firstly, big ratings to Usyk because he did that whole interview in English like a G. All right. Now, first things first, he said, listen, the past is the past. I don't want to go and live in the past. We ain't talking about the past. It's about today. It's about what's going down. It's about what's about to happen. That's what it's about. Okay? But seems though you brought it up. You know what I'm saying? Let me scroll through my photos real quick. I got a quick little archive picture here. And he whipped out a picture of one dirty low blow from Daniel Dubois. Basically showing that, listen, this brother is on them low blows. He's on it. So, end of the day, he's out here low blowing. So no, he needs to make sure he keeps his hands up effectively. And obviously, Frank Warren came in afterwards and came out with his printout. I love Frank because Frank is he's such an old guy. You know what I'm saying? But he basks in his oldness. You know what I mean? He basks in it. Usyk brings out a phone. You know what I'm saying? And Frank Warren brings out an A4 printed piece of paper, folded up, you know what I'm saying, and holds it to show where the so-called low blow punch landed. Now, the controversy surrounding that is one that Usyk seeks to end right here. But the question that I have for you, Joe, yeah, and this is one thing that I was talking about last night with a few friends as soon as we finished recording. I said, listen, Usyk is undoubtedly one of the greatest fighters of this generation. Almost possibly could be the greatest fighter of this generation. You know where I stand with that. I stand with Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's going to cement that when he beats Canelo in September. But hey, we'll leave that for another day. Okay? The question I have for you there is, Oleksandr Usyk, yeah, he could be arguably said he's the best fighter of this generation, right? But he definitely is one of the best fighters of the generation. But he is 38 years old. He's going to be doing this fight at 38 years old, right? Daniel Dubois, a young spring chicken at the bright age of 27. Listen, as good as you are, it doesn't matter. Father time is going to catch you eventually if you stay in the game. It don't matter what sport you're playing. It doesn't matter if you're in the sport of boxing. Doesn't matter if you're playing darts, if you're playing cricket, if you're playing snooker. It don't matter if you're playing golf, right? At some stage, father time will come for you. Some people will be like, yeah, come on, we talking about darts. Listen, there's something about the wrist, okay? When it comes to darts, there's something about the wrist. When that arthritis hits, you can't be throwing in darts like that. You understand? It's same with the wrist when it comes to swinging golf and the vertebrae. Listen, when it comes to boxing, you have to know when to tap out, especially if you want to go down as the greatest. Is this fight one fight too far at 38 years old with miles on the clock in the heavyweight division for Oleksandr Usyk?
I think the way we determine whether father time is upon a fight is by checking their last performance out. And Usyk's last performance, you and I was there, and he looked fresh as a daisy to me. He looked on it, the feinting, the footwork, bouncing from first round to the end. I think there was a crazy combination he did, and like the 11th or 10th round where he slipped. Tyson Fury went body, head, body, and then double jab, something crazy like that, and that was in the 11th round. So I understand what your point is and how you're discussing it with your friends, right? But at the same time, I think we're in a different type of generation where we can afford for fighters to fight longer. You know, the likes of Terence Crawford. Terence is like 35, 36 right now. And you know what I mean? He still looks like fresh as a daisy. Beterbiev, a perfect example. Now, I know Beterbiev's last fight against Bivol, it started to look like five time was coming a little bit. He started slowing down. But then again, the fight before that with Bivol, the first fight, he looked fresh as a daisy, like on the front foot, and he came back from a knee injury. Oleksandr Usyk, another perfect example. Even Tyson Fury in his first fight against Usyk looked absolutely fantastic to me. I thought Fury's winning was up by like 5-2 after round 7. And he was like boxing his way to one of the best performances we've ever seen from a British fighter. But obviously, we know what happened after. You know, there's more examples that I can probably name, but I just can't think on top of my head. So I understand five time does come, but I feel like maybe 10, 15 years ago, people would be retiring right now if you're 35. You know what I mean? People retiring right now.
It's a fair point, but you got to remember George
Yeah.
Foreman. You got to remember, man, like George Foreman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the age where he won the heavyweight title. Listen, there's OGs that have done this thing and have been doing this thing. However, listen, you got young spring chickens that I'm 27 years old. Okay, like I ain't as old as Usyk, right? But sometimes those knees, you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes those knees be knee, and I'm telling you, at the 11-year age gap. You know, like you said, I think you've got a very great point, and I take that point on very, very great. I
Yeah.
think you have to judge it on the last fight. However, decline can happen very, 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 very quickly. And the truth is, how much did that force 4 minutes, all right, that Oleksandr Usyk managed to get as a rest? How much did that deplete the mental fortitude of Daniel Dubois at the time? How much did that affect his game? How much? We don't know. Do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? We don't know for sure. And that's what makes this fight intriguing because we are going to find out. And the reality is, if Daniel Dubois manages to beat Oleksandr Usyk, one, that will be unbelievable, right? But two, I'm just saying it doesn't mean that he beat the prime Oleksandr Usyk. And
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because the reality of the fact is Usyk is getting on. Now, this fight is historic. I know this fight is historic. It is the first time in history that the undisputed heavyweight championship is going down on the shores of Great Britain. It's going to be massive.
It is going to be massive. I think it is surprising. Like I think we said it in previous episodes. I think it's surprising that it's not AJ or Fury being involved in this. It's Daniel Dubois for something this massive, an undisputed clash. I always felt like it was going to be a AJ Fury, or even like Fury Usyk at Wembley. You know what I mean? That's what I thought it would have, if that was ever going to be. But Daniel Dubois, fair play, Daniel Dubois. And you know what? With Usyk and the age thing, Usyk did speak about the age thing as well on Talksport. He did say that he spoke to his physiologist, he spoke to his team. He sat and he says, "I feel great." All the doctors are giving a clear say he's great right now. So we'll see. But with Daniel Dubois as well, Daniel Dubois coming into this fight, I feel like he's going to be as mentally strong and confident than he'll ever be throughout his entire career, past and future. Because look at the run he's been on. And it's a great point you were speaking about in terms of Usyk coming into Daniel Dubois might have been mentally inferior than he is now to when Oleksandr Usyk did that low blow scenario and that 5 minutes that could have mentally depleted him. But I think now he is the best Daniel Dubois we're ever going to see in terms of like a mentality. We know he's got the physical capabilities. We know he's got the solid, rock solid jab. Maybe one of the best jabs in the sport of boxing. Do you know what I mean? We know he's got a great tank. He's got a great engine. We know all of these good things, right? Now, adding that mentality, it is going to be a very hard fight for Oleksandr Usyk. I'm not saying that Usyk is going to school him like convincingly. I think Usyk is going to win, and I think Usyk is going to win quite convincingly as well. But I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. You know what I mean? I know I just contradicted myself there, but it's not going to be easy. I'll be real. It's not going to be easy at all. I do think Usyk will win on points. I don't see a knockout happening this time though. Like the first fight.
Hey, listen, all I'm saying is I'm mad excited for this. Usyk is super excited for it as well. He said, I'm grateful to God for this opportunity to once again fight for the undisputed championship. Then he said, thank you, Daniel, for taking care of my IBF belt. Now, I want it
Cold.
back. Savagery. The words from Danny Dubois, he said, I should have won the first fight and was denied by the judgment of the referee, so I'll make no mistake this time around. In front of my people at the National Stadium in my home city. I am a
Mm.
superior and more dangerous fighter now, and Usyk will find out for himself on July 19th.
We're talking the talk, man.
Listen,
Wow.
I'm gassed. I'm excited. I can't wait for this one. And hopefully Frank puts together a decent undercard. Like I said,
Mm.
Frank confirmed that yes, this fight was a fight that was agreed and arranged between two teams. All right, Riyadh Season are a sponsor of Queensbury Promotion, so they will be on the apron. They will be on the signage. But this was a fight that was organized, negotiated, and arranged by Frank Warren and Queensbury Promotions alongside Ready to Fight, Aegis Klimas, and K2 Promotions as well. So listen, shout out to them guys for getting the job done. Shout out to them guys for getting it done without Turkey. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, you know what I mean? Maybe that good luck was a bit savage, or maybe the good luck was a good luck of, good luck. Hopefully, you know what I mean? Hopefully, you guys can manage to make it happen without me and my money.
I don't think it's the latter still. I think we both know he was petty.
It was a petty spaghetti, and maybe the situation surrounding Frank and Turkey that day at Wembley, on Wembley, sorry, at Tottenham
Yes.
Hotspur Stadium was surrounding ensuring that Riyadh Season is on the poster or on the in the background there, because you know what I'm saying, the deal is done. Man must have made sure that, you know what I'm saying, there's still some, you know, a little bit of
Mm.
credit, a little bit of something that is going in the way of Riyadh and going in the way of the Saudis. Now, listen, I'm like I said, I'm super excited about it. So much so that I'm stuttering. We're gonna have so much content surrounding this coming out this week and in the build up. And tomorrow is the press conference, Joe.
Mm. I think Daniel Dubois is gonna talk all sorts. To be honest, I think Daniel Dubois is gonna try and keep trying to get into Oleksandr Usyk's head, but we know it's just not just gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. That's the reality. So I think Daniel Dubois is just gonna be Daniel Dubois. I suppose. You know, it goes back to the point you saying we don't know what to expect from Daniel Dubois. He might be absolutely quiet, and I wouldn't be shocked if he just went in. Like, I just wouldn't be shocked now, because like Daniel Dubois is a very unpredictable character, and I love that. I love that, and I do like, respect Daniel Dubois, and it's just a shame that he's against Oleksandr Usyk. Like, I'd back Dubois against almost anyone, but yeah, I think we'll see a respectful press conference. I don't know how many people will turn up in the media, because we know the New York card is happening this week. We know the Canelo card is happening this week as well. So it'll be interesting to see what vibe we'll get in terms of the media attendance as well. I know that's not part of how the press conference is going to go, but I just want to see what the crowd is going to be like there as well. But yeah, I'm gassed. I'm interested, and best believe we're going to do a reaction video straight after, man.
That's right. Listen, guys, keep it locked to the Squared Circle across all social platforms, across Instagram, across TikTok. Shout out Joe for looking after the TikTok, and across YouTube as well. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Get involved in the comments below. Hit the like button because it helps most people see the video. And like I said, there's going to be so much more content surrounding this and other boxing news right here on the Squared Circle. I've been David Loka.
And I've been Joe Ojala.
We'll see you again next time.